Imposter syndrome is the idea that no matter how successful you are worried, you are terrified that people will find out that you're a fraud.
A little bit of doubt forces you to go better.
I think a lot of people hold themselves up because they feel like they have to know everything on demand. And the truth is you don't. You just have to know where to look for it.
Am I telling a story or are you telling a story? My version is way better.
Welcome to the Something to Prove podcast with Mark Drager and Evan Carmichael. On today's episode, we're talking about, do you remember the theme from last week?
No.
It was from a listener question.
Okay.
We are
He's got to look it up.
Sorry.
He's got to look it up.
I even have notes.
That's the best. He's got to look it up.
We were
He
talking about
doesn't even
imposter
remember.
syndrome. I didn't remember it. We're talking about imposter syndrome. So we've gotten some beautiful feedback from the listening audience who said, guys, you're a lot of fun to hang out with, but it's hard to keep track of what you're talking about. First, you bounce around too much. Second, you don't provide enough context and tell stories for people we don't even know.
Wow.
And third, you don't go deep enough. So guess what?
This is it? This is the test?
We're doing an experiment.
Okay.
Here's the experiment. One, we're not going to bounce around quite so much, hopefully.
All right.
Two, I've actually done research on the topic.
You're making Mark do work. I like it.
Yeah, so I've done research, and
He needs
I'm
to
not
work
going to
more.
allow Evan to judge me because the first few episodes you said, don't prepare, don't over-prepare. Wow, that was rehearsed. I'm not going to allow your judgment, Evan.
All right. Great.
But before
Let's
we
go.
jump into this, real quick, I like to take a little bit of time to catch up. It's always good to catch up with the audience.
Are we just
Let them
going against everything you just said?
let audience, you care. I know you care. Evan, how's your neck, buddy?
It's good. I have to do physio 3 times a week with a whatever physiotherapist.
Yep.
Yeah. And then I have to do stretches 3 times a day. I graduated from the first stretch to the second set
Were
of
you the
stretches.
best patient ever for physio?
I feel like I'm a pretty good patient. Feel like I'm a pretty good patient. She went to my website and found my bio, and she said, "I love that Doritos strategy."
So what's the Doritos strategy?
My bio says something like he has a giant bag of Doritos on his desk at all times to remind himself that he's stronger than the Doritos. Something like that.
Stronger than the Doritos.
Something like that. So she liked that.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm a good patient. I'm on time. I follow instructions. I did all the exercises. We tell some jokes. We talk entrepreneurship. So
Big news in my world. I went down from a large hoodie to a medium hoodie.
nice, dude.
It feels a little bit fitted.
Nice.
It feels too fitted, but everyone tells me
This
it's
is it.
okay.
This is the medium one.
This is the medium.
That's looking good. Nice.
It feels very tight.
It's a little tight, but that's good, man.
Everyone else told me I looked amazing. You're gonna go like
It's a little tight. It's a little tight. Like
It's a little tight.
the arms are tight. It's a little tight.
That's
Yeah,
okay.
but that's good. It's looking
stretchy.
good.
It's got stretchy.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Good job,
Yeah.
Mark.
Thank you.
How was the
Had a good
weigh-in
weigh-in
today? Yeah.
Had a good weigh-in today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So
Nice.
yes, for everyone, Evan is pushing me on keto, so I'm trying and IF, intermittent fasting. So I eat between 2 and 8 p.m.
That's me too.
Yeah, you too. You're the one who told me to do it.
Well, you can pick 6 hours. Just what window doesn't matter.
There you go.
Yeah.
So I've gotten a lot of people in my life pushing back and telling me it's dangerous and unhealthy, and their answer, I said, really? And they go, science, and that's all they just shout science at me. So I don't know what
Great.
to believe now.
Believe in science.
So
We're
let's
bouncing
go.
around. We're totally bouncing around. We're
You
going
gotta have
against.
some spontaneity. Come on, would you like this if
He's
this
just
was
not
a structured
listening.
lecture?
I don't listen to a single podcast anyway, so.
Yeah, you don't even know what's happening here.
I
So-
just know that if I'm around Mark Drager, we're creating content, it's going to be fire. It doesn't matter the direction, so.
Thank you. That's making me blush. So today's topic, I want to spend a bit of time speaking about the imposter syndrome. The imposter syndrome. Last week we had a question from one of our audience members that asked the question. How do you deal with I keep saying the imposter. How do you deal with imposter syndrome? So I'm going to try and do this without getting too textbooky for you, but I did research. I
It's highlighted too. It's got highlight notes.
Yeah, I know the history of it. I know that originally, funny thing here, when they were doing studies in the 70s, they thought that it only affected women. And it took actually like a decade for them to realize that men and women both
Science.
science both fall
There's that
victim
science
of
for
this.
you.
So the definition is really, imposter syndrome is the idea that no matter how successful you are worried, you are terrified that people will find out that you're a fraud. And so if someone gives you a compliment, you discount it. If they give you a negative comment, you immediately think that that's the truth. You're terrified that people will find out that you're just not good enough. So here are some of the things that you might tell yourself. If you tell yourself this is really the imposter syndrome. So I'm going to keep calling it the imposter syndrome. So the idea of if you tell yourself, I got lucky. I have that so much. The more research I did, the more I'm like, oh no.
This is you?
The
Mark Drager syndrome.
Really?
The Dragosaurus syndrome. We're going to rename it.
Really?
Do you suffer from the Dragosaurus syndrome?
The Dragosaurus. Possible side effects include, I got lucky. I was at the right place at the right time. It's just because they liked me. They like me, so they gave it to me. If I can do it, anyone can. They must let anyone in.
Everyone.
Sure, whatever. It's okay. They must let everyone in, right? I may have been in this exclusive group, but it's not really that exclusive. They didn't let everyone in. See, that guy's there, so.
Science.
Science. I had connections, so the only reason I got it was because I knew someone. It wasn't because I was good enough. They felt sorry for me. So, Evan, what do you, I mean, I cannot imagine that you ever suffered from this, but have you?
I think everybody suffers from it. I think you just are more capable of handling it on a bigger scale the more you attack it. I think as humans, we're connected to each other. You can't, unless you've got a mental block, 0.X% of people don't care about other people. If you care about other people, then...
You mean what they think of you, who they are?
Just in general. If you care about people, you care about what they think about you.
So I care a lot, actually, about what people think of me. Does that mean I actually care a lot about other people?
You do care a lot about other people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you do. You're just fishing for compliments?
No. So
you look great. This is so slimming, Mark.
Thank you.
Science.
Thank you, Evan.
So
Science.
we care about other people.
You look good, too, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
Making it happen?
Making it happen, yeah.
I can't exercise. I'm super frustrated.
I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. Keep going.
Yeah. So because we care about other people, you care about their opinions, and then you'll always feel like you don't measure up, you're not good enough, you're worried about judgment. You're worried about judgment. It's the, I'm not afraid to fail. You're actually not afraid to fail. Imposter syndrome is not being afraid to fail. It's about being discovered, being uncovered, being what? Like the hood comes off, right?
Revealed.
Being revealed. Now, what's the word?
Yeah.
Discovered?
Discovered.
No. Being
Called out?
Called out? No. What is it? Come on, Mark. You vomit greatness with your words.
At this point in my writing style, I would usually go to Google and type in synonym for unveiled, and then I would just look at the synonym and pick a better adjective.
Oh, there's a good one. Maybe it'll come to me.
Okay.
But that's what you're worried about. You're going to be called out, I guess.
Found out.
Found
called out. Revealed. Exposed.
Exposed.
Boom.
That's a good. You're going to be exposed for the faker that you are. You're going to be exposed, right? That's the constant fear. That's normal. I think it's normal, and the way through is to attack it. You attack it. If you're afraid, then you have to do it. I think I face it all the time. Like when I do interviews with people, like, oh wow, how did I get here? Why should I be the one doing this interview? I don't say most of those things on that list, though. I'm lucky, I'm whatever.
Let me go through a few more things just to help explain some backstory. Then this is us trying to be professional podcasters now.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow.
This is what professional podcasting looks like.
All right.
So from this article from Psychology Today, if you really call any success you have luck or good timing, if you dismiss that others believe in you right away, if you think, you know what, there are more intelligent people, there are more competent people, there's so many people who are so much better at it than me, this imposter syndrome really just leads to like a lot of doubt. It leads to you having anxiety. It leads to depression. It leads to people like kind of stopping in their tracks. And there are different communities of people, and there's just different situations where it comes up more or less. And so really here's a great quote from it. So if you have a tendency towards perfectionism, fear of failure, continually undermining your own achievements, let's say that you climbed Mount Kilimanjaro, you'd be like, that's nothing. Lots of people do it, right? It wasn't that special. These are all indicators that you might be prone to it. And again, it can be debilitating. It can cause stress, anxiety, low self-confidence, shame, and for a lot of people, depression. So it's a serious thing. You're telling me that everyone at a certain level goes through it?
I think if you don't have some degree of it, then You're either one, not pushing up against your comfort zones at all and hate your life, or two, you've got a mental imbalance and you just don't care about other people at all. Yeah, so it's normal. I think it's normal. Yeah.
Now I don't know if we just go into a random fun story down a little rabbit hole, or if I just keep going with what's in this great paperwork. This is changing up the entire feeling of the podcast, isn't it?
You're the host, Mark.
I'm the host.
You're top billing. I'm just along for the ride.
Well, let me explain. So I did a bit of research, and the more research
I'm the
that
horse.
I did,
You got to direct me.
you're the horse and I'm riding you?
Wow, Mark, you just had to take it there, didn't you?
Well, I don't understand. Are you hooked up to my carriage in this situation?
Maybe. Sure, let's go carriage. I like that better.
You like it better than me being the jockey whipping you?
Yep. Just the idea of you riding me, I'm not a fan of. But I'm
Let's get close.
I'm pulling you along.
Let's get close for
Let's
a
go
second.
with
Yes, I like that.
that. Okay, good.
I like that idea.
But you have to set the direction.
You're an untamed, unbridled horse, and I'm just holding on for dear life as.
You got to direct me. You got to direct.
I got to direct you.
You're pushing a button on a missile.
Okay, now.
You got to tell me where to go. What's next?
Okay, so some research was done in the 80s, and what I found most interesting is this cycle, and maybe you recognize yourself in this imposter cycle. In 1985, there was a paper written, and it just comes down to the same thing. Everyone treats it more or less the same way, and then there's one or two ways they can do it. So the cycle is based on this. It begins with an achievement-related task. So an example of an achievement-related task could be an exercise that was assigned through work or school. Isn't that textbooky? So let's say that you get a task that you have to do. You have an idea, you're an entrepreneur, or you're working for someone, and your boss, you get invited to speak.
This is why I say it's
conference.
against your comfort zone.
What?
Because you're going off and you're accomplishing something new that you haven't done before.
Yes.
And you get
Better
a
than
result.
what Wikipedia wrote here, yes.
Yeah, because otherwise you sit there, like it's normal. Like everybody who goes off and gets some kind of result, there's always going to be a piece of you that doubts it.
Well, so here's the thing. So let's say
I think it's normal.
pick the thing that you would be afraid to do, right? You want to launch, you want to start a new business. You want to take your business to the next level. You've been invited to speak somewhere. You've just landed the biggest contract that's 10 times bigger than any other contract you've ever done. Your e-commerce store.
Okay, so
within
fake
3
it till you
months.
make it is good advice or bad?
Well, let's walk through the cycle, then you can decide. I don't know.
Stick to
So once it's been given to you, once you have this opportunity in front of you, you feel self-doubt, you get anxiety, you get worry. And so there's two possible approaches that most people take. The first, which is on a different page.
This research is all over the place.
I literally can't find it, but I remember it. The first is procrastination.
If you procrastinate, it's because you're scared or you don't like it.
There you go. So the first is procrastination. So you're going to either procrastinate completely, and then at the very last minute, in some kind of frantic effort, complete the job. And then once it's been completed, you're going to feel really great about it for like a short amount of time. If someone gives you positive feedback, you dismiss it. But if you fail, you say, see, I failed. But the question is, did you fail because you procrastinated, because you didn't give it enough time, enough love, because you were frantic at the end? Or if you're not procrastinating, the other thing people do is over-prepare. So they go like overboard and throw everything at it out of fear, out of anxiety, out of worry. And then they're going to get all of this really great hard work done. And again, if you succeed, and people compliment you, you dismiss it. If you fail, you're like, see, I'm just reinforcing it. And so this cycle begins to create the patterns that you follow to approach any project at a time of stress. You either procrastinate or you go crazy, hardcore, throw everything at it to make it happen. Yes, Evan, for our audio listeners, is dancing with his dog now. That's distracting, Evan.
I'm getting bored.
It's not.
I don't like this format. You're here to learn from us, not to read from an article on Wikipedia.
That's me ripping up the pages.
You didn't rip it up. You just mildly crumpled it. Okay, now we went to go get it. There it is. That's right. That's how I feel. Yes. Now clean up the mess. We got stuff
Actually,
happening.
that was all the notes I wanted to talk about anyway. We
really?
covered everything. So you get this amazing task in front of you. You are terrified.
Yeah.
We can't do it.
Yeah.
They're going to find out we can't do it. I'm going to procrastinate, or I'm going to throw everything I got at it. And then you walk away with a very brief time of feeling, we pulled it off. We actually accomplished it. But then the very next time, Actually, there are more notes. All my notes on how you overcome this are ripped up now. But the very next time you find yourself facing
Well, how do
the
you
exact same
overcome
cycle,
it? They want to learn from us.
I don't overcome this. I did this research and I realized, holy smokes,
This is
I just
me?
spent the last 3 days
Analyzing
with
myself?
this anxiety in the pit of my gut, really, really, really worried about stuff that I know we can crush. But it's because I'm terrified that just this one time we won't crush it. Every time, for me, in my business, every time someone questions us, it leads to doubt. And rather than me say, hold on, I've been doing this for 12 years, I have a great team, every time we've pulled it off, I should have confidence in that, right? We've been doing this for a long time, we're very good at what we do, and every time we've pulled it off. And yet, if someone gives me a little bit of doubt, that's the time where I feel like we won't pull it off. That's the time when I get really, really worried and scared.
I think having a piece of that is good. I don't think really, really worried and scared is good.
Okay.
But having a piece of that is good. Like if you walked into something and said, I got this, you would hate your life. It'd be boring. It's boring.
Are we back to this?
Yes, we're back to it. People hate their lives. I don't want people to hate their lives. If you knew the outcome of everything, it'd be boring. You wouldn't like it. Mm-hmm. You like variety. You need to have some variety.
Certainty is
Too
not a
much
good
certainty
thing.
is not good.
Yes.
Yeah. So a little piece is good. A little bit of doubt forces you to go better and push the envelope and come up with new ideas.
I literally had a conversation with Louis on my team at 11 or 11:30 this morning.
Shout out to Louis. Big fan of Louis.
Big
I'm on the
fan.
Louis train. We need the Louis. Louis.
That was the Louis train.
I'm thinking Louis Bucket, but that's not it.
No.
Louis. What starts with L?
I don't know.
Locomotive. The locomotive. The Louis locomotive. Can I get a honk?
he's a
No, what do
powerhouse.
they do? What do trains do?
They honk.
They don't honk. That's
Yeah,
not
they
a
do.
honk.
They have an
That's
air
not called a
horn.
honk. That's not a honk. What's the action? What's the process called?
You pull a string. It's the same as
Pull the
truck.
horn is a horn, but I
Yeah.
don't think you honk it. Anyway, I'm on the Louis locomotive.
Wow.
I'm a big fan. Go check
Anyway,
him out
I was
at-
speaking with Louis. He's the COO of my team, and I literally used that term that right now I'm so anxious about these things. We are so busy at work. We have so many projects coming in that this is our busiest season. So momentum is great, but I'm terrified that for some reason we won't step up. We won't be good enough. We'll prove that we don't have it. Yeah, this is striking home. But more than anything, I was like, this is the best. This is the best because I hate my life right now.
Yeah, that's how you get
So we're
through.
gonna fix it. And then I saw this great Gary V post maybe a day or two ago that I loved. I didn't send it to you, but he basically said, your yesterday does not dictate your tomorrow. And I was like,
Past
okay,
is not equal to the future.
yeah, perfect. Okay, great. So everything that's old is new. But for me, what it was like, okay, so maybe a month ago we screwed something up. It doesn't mean that we're gonna screw it up this time.
Yeah.
Or maybe we will.
So how do you get through it? So one, you procrastinate and you don't because you're afraid,
Let me look at my notes.
right? Two, you fake it till you make it. You pretend like you're something that you're not. There it is. Mark's holding up a torn sheet of paper. Or three, you attack it and say, this is my chance. Like the problem is, here's the problem. The problem is you keep avoiding it instead of diving into it. Not the work, the emotional work. The emotional work. That when you can do the work, the actual physical work, but the emotional work is saying, I'm scared of this, and then looking for the pacifier.
Yeah, you're proud of yourself. Keep going.
You're looking for a little soother instead of just solving the problem. Yeah, you need to attack the problem. You have to do the emotional work that I like scary things. That scary things make me come alive. That I'm the kind of person who does the difficult.
Can you see my face right now?
What?
For everyone watching right now.
What?
I'm getting very
mean
uncomfortable.
listening.
For everyone listening.
Everybody watching.
No, there's people watching. But
Okay,
for
why
people
are you
listening.
getting so uncomfortable?
Uh,
You're already doing it.
no, not fast enough. Not enough.
Well,
Not
okay,
enough.
but dude, whatever. Dude,
Not
listen.
enough. Not enough.
Hold on.
Not enough.
You started your company how long ago?
2006.
It's still 13 years. You've started doing
yeah.
this for what?
I started doing what?
3 weeks?
What, the change?
Yeah.
Your voice went up there. Hey, I love it. I love it. I would say that the big decision started in November.
Not the big decisions, the idea that I like taking on difficult things.
Oh,
It's
I
the
don't think
best.
I've even made that decision yet. But but you keep telling it to me. You keep pulling me along.
Well, you said it's not fast enough.
Crazy horse Evan.
That crazy horse is deciding the direction. We're going in a 180 and coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
CHEC. That's
You do difficult
buddy.
things. I like difficult things. Everybody likes difficult because the alternative sucks. You're only looking at the negative that you might screw up and mess up.
I'm not. I'm there. I'm there.
What do you mean you're there?
Yeah. I love the fact that I'm terrified of this.
Yeah.
Because it's painful enough that the line is in the sand. We got to get it fixed. So that I like. I'm uncomfortable and impatient. And thinking back to, imposter syndrome, I'm really worried that somehow we'll be found out to. Here's the thing. We are amazing at what we do with what we have to work with. We know we can deliver higher than client expectations. We know when we put the right focus on things, we can manage clients, manage expectations, give them focus, give them love, do all the things we need to do.
You know what? If you're not losing, you're not extraordinary. I'm sorry. You have to lose sometimes.
I'm a perfectionist.
Yeah, then it's not extraordinary.
What bothers me...
You have to lose.
What bothers me...
You have to lose.
...is when you get... So here's the thing. If something goes wrong, most of the people on my team go like, we couldn't have seen this coming. And I get upset because I go, we should have seen this coming.
Okay, that's good.
But here's the thing. We couldn't have seen it coming. Like we get, the times where things go wrong, we get so caught off guard, not having done this so much, with so many different types of people, in so many, like we've been doing business long enough that I think we should be able to see every red flag. We should be able to prevent for our clients every potential issue. We should see it coming 10 steps before they do. We should be that good.
Okay. And you're
so
not.
when,
Okay.
And we're not. And so when something goes wrong, it's almost always blindsiding us. And I always feel like we should have done better.
Okay.
But
and
how could we have done better?
So the next time you'll do better.
Maybe. But the level of perfectionism I have, the expectations I have, is that if we were professionals and if we were as good as I think we should be, then there shouldn't be any mistakes. There shouldn't be any bumps. There shouldn't be any misunderstandings.
No, that's wrong.
This is why I hate my life.
And you're just playing safe. You have to make mistakes. Calculated mistakes. It's okay. You made mistakes.
You told me many, many months ago that we should spend more time messing up the bed, but you used a different term.
What did I say?
Well, what do people say when they...
Messing up the bed doesn't seem to make sense to me. So.
Okay, well, are we swearing here or not?
Oh, I don't know. I swore?
You did your typical S... asterisk, asterisk,
okay.
The bed.
Oh, I see. You crap the bed, not messing up the bed.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, you got to crap the bed. Better than messing up the bed.
I would just rather say, but
well,
I don't know
well,
if we
messing
swear
up the bed
or not,
makes me feel like why don't you just move the sheets around or something?
No. Side note, at Airbnbs, before Evan leaves, he always makes the bed. That's a fun little...
Another side note, yeah. Listen, that's because these are entrepreneurs, and I feel for them, like that. I want them to come in, and I want them to feel like, wow, whoever just stayed in this Airbnb is the greatest guest of all time.
They took care.
Yeah, they took care. Yeah. Danny, my camera guy, Danny, for those of you who don't know Danny, my usual camera guy, has this weird thing about a clean bed, and he's got to go into his room and mess up the sheets as soon as he gets in.
That is weird.
It's weird, right?
That's a weird duck thing.
Yeah. I walked in like, oh, how come your bed's pretty messed up? Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like my bed too tidy. So he's got to go in and mess it up before he's happy in his room.
Here's a side note I want to ask. What's up with people telling entrepreneurs that you have to make the bed? Like it's some form of discipline. Because here's the thing for me.
No, dude, of course you know that. What kind of dumbass question? You know that. You know why?
I don't make the bed.
No, but you know why people say that.
Why? Routine?
Because you want to do something to show yourself that you do something in the morning, that you don't wake up and you're like, it's brushing your teeth, it's flossing, it's it's anything, drinking a glass of water, it's all the same thing. It's saying you're going to do something and doing something. It's being consistent with the goals that you said you're going to do.
So, but there's a difference between, like what they say, there's a difference between cause and effect and whatever, not being cause. So making your bed every day doesn't actually make you a better person or entrepreneur unless you commit to making the bed every day. Like I think making the bed is a stupid waste of time because guess what? I'm going to get back in the bed, and when I get back in the bed,
at night.
At night.
Okay.
Yeah, no. I get up at 10 to 5.
Your wife's still in the bed.
My wife's still in the
You
bed,
can't make the bed,
so I can't
so
anyway.
we'll go
But even
there.
on the weekends, if I could, there's no way in hell
I think
would
you
waste
should make the
time
bed
making
with your
the bed.
wife in it. Like a little, make her a mummy. Actually, I
Just
think,
start tucking
I
it
think,
in?
I think Nina would really like that. Nina,
Nina, would
I
you
got
like?
up and tucked you in every morning.
That'd be weird, right?
You like being like suffocated in the bed. The goal of the show is not to get off topic. Mark Skeekman is focused.
Because we got to have some spontaneity and fun. Come on, people.
This is-
You have come
this is
here
probably
to
the
hang
worst. It's probably
out.
the most.
This is the best.
This is the most off topic we've gone.
Hey, you know what? The comment was that maybe you and I have to get out of our comfort zone with how we structure the podcast. So I'm trying it. I'm trying.
I don't like the structure. I don't like Mark reading a piece of paper for 20 minutes. That is
Look
not.
down at the piece of paper.
No, you're like fumbling on your notes and trying to find like.
No, I have the
stuff.
next. I have the next steps. I already know.
I
already
think
know. I already know what's next.
Okay.
I already know what's next. But wrapping it back up. So here are a few of the tips for imposter syndrome. Okay, so ready first.
Did we cover your making the bed thing?
I don't think we did. You want to go back to that? Here's the thing. Whether I make the bed or not, does it really matter? If I would rather get up on time, if I'd rather wash my face and brush my teeth
all the same
and drink
stuff.
my 2 glasses of water
That's it.
and get
That's
out
the
the
same
door
thing.
within
Yes.
12 minutes
Yes.
so I can get to work
Yes.
and I can hustle,
Yes.
do I have to make the bed?
No.
Great, thank you. That's all I want to know.
But that's
But they position it as if somehow people think that it's like, oh, I have to make the bed. But it's not about making the bed. It's about having the routine.
it's about saying you're going to do something and doing that the first thing, so you become the person who's consistent with your goals.
Okay,
You're transforming your identity to a person who follows through and does stuff.
perfect. So it's not that millionaires make the bed, so I better make the bed to turn into a millionaire.
It's not causal like that, but
That's what I meant by causal. Cause and effect or whatever. Causation versus whatever. I don't know what the opposite of causation is.
most people wake up, hit the snooze 18 times, goes back to bed,
Yeah.
falls into their life, looks at their
Garbage.
phone,
Can we admit
their
it's
life
garbage?
explodes on them, and they hate their life. That's
Right.
most people. Great. So how do you get out of it? You pick one thing in the morning to start doing, to start training yourself, because you don't believe yourself when you set goals.
Perfect. So I get up, put my headphones on, blare some music, drink 2 cold glasses of water.
Yeah,
and
you're
hustle
good. Don't
through.
worry. You're
I'm good.
fine. Yes.
Are you drinking your water still in the morning?
This is water. This is water right now.
Are you drinking water in the
Yeah, I
morning?
drink water in the morning. Yeah. Well, a glass of water in the morning, and then I have a coffee, and then
try 2.
I fill this up like,
should try
I don't
2
know, 4 or
glasses
5
of
times during the day.
Good.
It bothers me. Anyway, it's fine.
What bothers you?
Nothing. Go.
What bothers you?
No.
Go.
That you didn't get that. Why did they say make the bed in the morning?
It's just, okay, I'm speechless.
Because you're in marketing.
What does that have to do with marketing?
Because marketing is psychology. Marketing
Yes.
is human behavior.
Which is-
Marketing is understanding people and patterns. That's it. That's the whole
Sure.
reason. That's it. That's
Which
why
is
you make the bed in
why
the
I
morning.
didn't understand that people position this as some kind of
It's not that-
causation,
okay, fine.
some kind of like, if you want to be a millionaire, make the bed. If you want to be a millionaire, you have to walk 20 minutes a day. No, that's not what it's about. But people position it as if somehow it's like, if I do A, B, and C without understanding the rationale behind it, I will lead to some kind of great outcome.
It's only
and
because
then they
I
just repeat. They
I
just,
hold Mark in high esteem. That's all.
it just, you know what? I'm operating at a level that I just
Shocks
didn't
me
get
and
it.
bothers me.
I'm just operating at, I just didn't get it.
Shocks and
It was
bothers.
too basic for me.
Maybe, but no.
So here's what you want to do if you want to break the imposter syndrome. So the first is from the studies. This is from research. This isn't from my gut. It's sit down with a trusted mentor. Admitting that you have fears. Admitting that, that you are worried that people will find you out with someone you trust. And when they sit down and tell you that this is garbage, that it's a lie you're telling yourself, that you're very good because you got here because of these reasons, with someone you trust and will actually listen to, apparently from research it helps.
I buy that.
What do you think of that?
I think talking to anybody, I think it's a slow path because you're still going to say, well, I don't believe them, or you feel good in the moment. I think it's a crutch, but I think crutches help you. What?
I do this with you all the time.
You do
I
what?
tell you about stuff I'm worried about, and then you boost me up.
Yeah, I think it's a
I'm like-
crutch,
and
but
I'm like, awesome. And then sometimes I go, oh, I shouldn't go to Evan with this because I can boost myself up without Evan. What would he say to me? He'd say this. And then I can have the conversation without you. So otherwise, I'd be calling you.
I think it's
every
good.
day.
Well, I think whether it's a mentor or a friend or whatever, social media, like you want to really break it, you make
it
a
out
video
there.
and post. Yeah. And you'll get some
smell
love
those cookies.
and you'll get some hate. Yeah, I want to attack it. It works, but it's a slow path. It's a slow path to fixing a problem.
Okay. Second suggestion here. Let me ask you what you think of this.
Yeah.
Pay attention to yourself and listen to whether your thoughts are being empowered or dismissive, and choose to rewrite that script in your mind. What do you think of that?
I like it. That's just like what we said. Like, oh, it's difficult. Yeah. Every time you say it's difficult or it's hard, say,
I'm the type of person who loves difficult
I
things.
love that.
I love it.
Oh my God, it's difficult? This is amazing.
It's the best.
Who, you want easy? You just want easy stuff your whole life?
Somewhere else.
No, like,
This isn't the easy place. This is the hard place.
no, you don't want easy. You want difficult.
You know what? Overcoming like a crazy challenge is a lot of fun. When it's not crushing.
Even if it is, you tried. Whatever. It's stability. You tried. That's it. You tried. You went and tried that crazy thing.
You ready? Tip number 3. Make a strengths list. Write down really quick all the things that you do that are next level and awesome, and then just pull it out whenever you're feeling doubtful. So this is a little bit Tony Robbins, you know, where you create a nickname for yourself, where you step in. My nickname was Boss. What was your nickname?
I don't know.
Champion?
I don't know.
Something like
Is
that?
it what I said? I don't know.
I don't
Sure.
know what you said.
Champion.
It was
Great.
dark. We were shouting. There was 12,000 people. I don't remember. Mine was Boss. And I only thought of that because I thought I could buy a Boss branded belt or something and then just start wearing it around to remind myself.
That I'm a boss. Where is it? Where's the boss?
I never bought
Mark
one.
had to go another notch lower on the belt now.
Actually,
Mr. Medium hoodie in the house.
Actually, I'm still wearing my old jeans and my old belt. I literally need to drill a hole in this because they're starting to fall down, which is awesome.
Science.
But science. So did we like those? I wouldn't have had those 3 things if I hadn't done research. You're welcome.
Or you pull from your experience, your knowledge, your Mark Drager awesomeness, and you spit greatness. This is what people are here to see. That one doesn't work as well for me, but I buy it.
The strength list.
Yeah.
Looking at the strength list and reminding yourself of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Affirmations and that kind of stuff.
This isn't even on this list, but you want to know what I do when I feel scared or doubtful?
Yeah.
Evan Carmichael top 10 list of someone who
That's
is
it.
not going to be soft.
That's bigger.
It's going to be hard.
That's bigger.
Oh my
Honestly,
goodness.
the environment, and whether it's my videos or something else,
No,
the environment.
Not of you speaking. I'm just
No,
saying.
no, I know,
pick
I know,
the
I know.
person who you think is gonna kick you in the tail, and is super aspirational and super fiery, and it's crazy.
Whatever you value most, like if Mark's one word is extraordinary, then he needs to be around extraordinary people doing extraordinary things every day.
I'm just thinking when I was like, hey, Evan, this morning I listened to Gary Top 50 Rules, and your
Yeah.
response was, quote, that's a lot of Gary V.
Well, you got to be productive too. 50 rules is
Walking. I walked 6 kilometers.
okay.
while
Great,
listening to it.
awesome.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's better than anything on that list.
No, yeah.
Hang around people who believe the thing that you want to believe. That's it. That's the
But-
biggest one.
But here's where it kind of overlaps. I have to tell myself that what they're saying is not only for me, not only
You don't even need to.
do I deserve this, but
Nope.
I can actually achieve it and believe it.
You don't. It'll seep in. It just will. It'll sink in. If you keep doing, even if the first 20 days of you doing it, you're like, this is BS.
My wife's so mad.
Why?
Not mad. Sorry, my wife's upset because I listen to Kanye West music now.
Okay,
I listen to Kanye, and there's like 7 or 8 songs that I really like.
makes me so happy.
Yeah.
The first top 10 was because of Mark.
Tell the
We did
story
on
then.
Kanye.
Tell the
No,
story.
it's okay. I've told it like 4. You know how much I talk
This
about
is
you
why
during the day?
This is why
on Thursday.
This is why podcast listeners say we don't provide enough
I
content.
feel like we've talked about this. Have I not shared the story
Not
on the thing?
podcast.
Oh man. Okay. I've told this story like 4 times today on interviews and stuff.
Today?
Today, Thursday's my public-facing day. I don't know
love it.
why.
I love it.
I talk about Mark way too much.
It's the best.
It is pain and suffering, so it's the best. So Mark puts his blog post out about Kanye
Topic-
West.
No, it wasn't about Kanye West.
No, whatever.
The topic was.
Am I telling a story? Or you telling a story? My version is way better.
The topic was.
Big picture, Kanye West at the top.
The topic was.
Was it lead
Yes.
graphic, not Kanye West?
It was big picture. The
Right.
topic was that your passion for a cause does not give you the right to be rude.
Great. So attacking Kanye West for being rude.
Yes. Passion does not
Christ.
give you the right to be rude.
Great. Lead picture Kanye, and he was talking
And
about
Taylor Swift.
Yeah, the whole Taylor Swift moment.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, great. So he's hating on Kanye, and this is years after the whole thing happened. Years, right? It's not like it just happened. Not like it's timely. Years have passed since this whole thing has happened,
I
right?
didn't like Kanye West. His level of arrogance annoyed me.
Exactly. Well,
But now, this is why my wife's upset, because I listened to
Well,
him.
this is the problem. Mark felt like Kanye's level of arrogance annoyed him.
Yes.
That annoyed me. as someone who cares about Mark and cares about all of you who are like Mark, who feels the same way, I wanted to say, you know what?
You can learn from
You can learn from this man. This dude's interrupting. Rudeness. Passion does not give you, right?
the right to be rude.
Exactly. And interrupt. Yay. So I took it upon myself to say, you know what? You may not agree with everything that Kanye has said. You don't even have to like him as a person. But there's a lot that you can still learn from him. The man's won more Grammy Awards than anybody at his age in human history. He went from being a producer to a rapper to an entrepreneur. He convinced John Legend, who you might think of as weird to be Kanye's friend, to call himself the Legend because his name was John Stevens, and he felt he had an old soul and an old voice, and he belonged in a different era. And Kanye in a bar in Chicago said, "You should call yourself the Legend." And John Stevens said, "Nah, what if I don't make it?" Right? Imposter syndrome. What if I don't make it? I can't call myself a legend. And Kanye made him believe in himself to go off and do it. So even if you hate Kanye, you can still learn from him. Like, do you believe enough in your friends? Do you push them enough? Do you tell them that they could be great, that they're legendary level? Are you doing that? No, go learn from Kanye, right? And so the top 10 rules were basically a Mark, this is for your face. Watch this video.
And then
you need to
I
watch
left
his
a
video
comment
because
saying
it's
I
all
was
positive.
wrong.
It's all positive. No, you didn't say you were wrong. He said, don't listen to what they say. You can learn from this man. Something like that. And it's the #1 most liked, which makes me so happy. It's the #1 most liked comment on that video is the man who inspired that video. And so I want to learn from people who I may not immediately agree with. I think there's something, I want to spread tolerance. I want to spread tolerance. I want you to learn from, often the greatest learning, like the problem with Mark is he needs to have more arrogance. He needs to have more of the thing that he hates in Kanye. Just do it in a respectful way, right? Doesn't mean you have to be rude, but you should voice up more. And so I made the first top 10 because of Mark. And it was only meant to be with that one video. I didn't plan to have a whole series. It was just, hey, Mark, learn from this man.
In your face.
In your face. Learn it. Here you go. And now you're listening to the music.
Now I'm listening to the music.
So
Now
the
I'm
more you're
listening to the
around
lyrics.
it, the more you're around it, the more you will, you just become it, even if you fight it. Even if you fight it, you will become it. If you hang around trash all day long, you will become trash.
Yeah.
You just will.
I'm sure you've probably noticed this, like you don't, but the audience notices. If you're watching a drama and people are speaking it a certain way with a certain cadence, a certain pace, you'll start to talk that way. If you're watching a television show that's really, really funny and people make certain types of jokes, you will probably pick up those jokes and suddenly start talking in that way.
happens.
It literally just happens.
Okay, so just talk
Exposure.
to yourself from 7 minutes ago.
Okay.
Yeah, because you said, well, I'm listening to it, but I'm telling myself I'm not going to be that guy.
No, what I'm saying is I listen to it and then I tell myself I deserve to be that person.
You don't even need to, though. It's subconscious. By being around it, you become it.
Right, but there's the gap of doubt.
No, that's what I'm saying. Keep it up. The doubt will go away. You will just become it. It will just seep into you, and then you're like, who's this person I became? You don't recognize yourself anymore. Yeah, so just keep listening. Every day, though. Every day, it's a little micro dose every day. And it boosts your confidence or whatever the thing is that you want. You will start embodying that person.
You know what series you used to do that I really liked, and I know you killed it.
Yeah, I killed tons.
I know.
I like them all.
You like to experiment. The yin and the yang.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So there are two people with opposing views.
Yeah.
You're supposed to watch both of them, and immediately you're going to love one of them. And the other one, you're going to go, man, I don't like that person. But could you learn from them? And so you had this series with these just two short clips of opposing views, and you got to decide which team you're on.
Kanye was the first one.
But accept the other person.
Kanye versus Tupac was the first one.
Okay.
Where Tupac comes on and says, I think humbleness is sexy. I think humbleness is sexy. And then Kanye is speaking at a rock concert. He said, people tell you to be humble, be humble. I say, forget that. Be extraordinary, be brave, express yourself, don't be humble. And so we tried to pick two, at the time, like leading rappers, right? Different eras, but the best of the best in the same industry. It's not like somebody is a piano player, right? Same industry, saying seemingly opposite things. But the stretch of that video is, you know what, if you got Kanye and Tupac into a room and had them talk about it, they probably have pretty similar views. Yeah.
Yeah, they would listen to each other out. They would realize that it's a real person with a real perspective, and then they would at least understand the other person's view, even if they didn't agree with it.
Sure, but I think they actually agree a lot more than what that clip makes you see. Because we will talk in definitive statements at times, right? But there's always exceptions. And so if I have this moment here when I'm feeling this thing and I go hard on it, well, but taken out of context and applied somewhere else doesn't make as much sense.
Right.
Like Tupac is not going to say to people, yeah, just be quiet and just live your life and never make any noise and never be a bright light and never stand out, because it's not who he was. Mm-hmm. He was a bright light. He wanted to, inspire the person who would change the world? Spark the person who would change the world.
That's a great quote.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Science.
What
else?
Let's bring a close then to that topic. I think this format worked really well. I think we could get better at it. We can get a little bit better at the bumps.
What's the bumps?
I don't know, the awkward pauses like the one I just had.
Oh, that's pretty awkward.
Here we go. Time for the 3 fun questions.
Oh yeah, okay, good.
Are you ready?
Yes.
I don't think we've done this yet, but
Okay.
I'm curious. Favorite flavor of Doritos?
Oh, the sweet chili. Oh,
Sweet chili
for sure.
heat?
Yeah, the purple bag. Yeah. Oh my gosh, my mouth is.
Aren't they
watering
like
now
black
just
and
thinking about
red?
it.
Or
No,
it's
no, it's
different.
the purple bag. Purple bag.
So that's the American one, but sweet chili
No,
heat's
they
like
have it here. Same
black,
thing.
isn't it?
No, that's something else. That's like fire. I don't know what it is. That's too spicy. Sweet chili heat is more sweet than spicy. Yeah, I want that one.
My son loves those ones too.
Yeah, it's the best for sure.
So what do you like so much about Doritos? It's just like that cheesy corn
I don't know. It's
bready.
like the perfect.
It's like the perfect mix.
The perfect mix, yeah.
Do you like
My
Cool
mouth is
Ranch
watering
or no?
so much right now.
Do you like Cool Ranch?
Followed by Chicago mix. Oh my God, Garrett's Chicago mix in Chicago is legendary.
Do you like Sun Chips? I used
No.
to love them
Oh,
so
they're
much.
okay. They're okay. Whatever's in that mixed bag of like Sun Chips, pretzels, there's something I don't like in there.
Oh, those ones are good.
No,
but they're not real Sun Chips.
I think it's the pretzels that are just too dry,
Okay.
too boring.
That's why you coat them in chocolate.
Yes. That is amazing.
What's happening with the Evan Carmichael belief sauce?
Is that question number 2?
No.
Oh, I don't know. So somebody's got to.
Did you even remember about that?
Just now.
Great. This guy's memory is the worst.
No, it's not the worst. It's the
His
best.
memory is the worst. Okay, number 2. Are you ready? If you had to drink soda, what would you drink?
Ooh, soda. Come on. Well, root beer, I guess. Root beer. Root beer followed by Dr. Pepper.
How can you go, soda, and then you're just like right away you're like, well, definitely root beer followed by Dr. Pepper
Well, I
or
want to
cream
answer
soda or whatever.
root beer, cream soda. Root beer, Dr. Pepper, cream soda. Yeah, that'd be the order.
Really?
Yep.
I love Diet Coke.
No.
I love Diet Coke. It's just a little bit watery.
Go Pepsi
It's
over
not.
Coke,
Oh,
too.
Pepsi is the worst.
No, Pepsi's way better.
Oh, no.
Pepsi.
Okay, ready?
Michael Jackson.
Favorite color
Britney
of Skittle?
Spears. Science. Color? I don't
Yeah,
know.
like
Orange.
flavor.
Oh, what's the flavors? I
Flavors?
don't really eat Skittles. What are the flavors?
You don't eat Skittles?
Nah, they're okay. When I eat
Oh,
Skittles,
I love
I just
hard candy. Just
yeah, but that's what I would do.
No, I
just
put
like,
them into colors.
No, I just
I
throw
put them
a
into
bunch
different
in
colors
into my
and
face.
into your
No,
face.
I don't know.
You don't like hard candy that much, do you?
It's okay. It wouldn't be my go-to, but it also wouldn't be last on the list.
Green and blue is the right answer.
Okay, that makes yellow, doesn't it?
No, like green.
No,
the
yellow,
green
blue and
Skittles
yellow
are
makes
like kiwi, strawberry, or something, I think.
Okay.
And then
strawberry.
blue are I want to say raspberry flavor, I think.
Okay.
But that's the right answer.
Okay.
You got
great.
it wrong.
Perfect.
Okay.
I make lots of mistakes.
Here we go. Ready? How do you balance learning and taking action?
Okay, who is it? Can you read?
This
Can you
is
show some love to the?
Taurus. This is Taurus Edwin.
Oh, Edwin. He came to the workshop in
Awesome.
September. He's from
So,
Miami.
How do you balance learning and taking action? Do you have designated learning days? Hard to take action when I don't know enough. When I feel like I don't know enough.
What do you got?
I was reading the question. You go first.
Oh, you got nothing?
I think that you have to have enough knowledge of something to be able to know what the first step is. But I think if you're trying to do enough research to understand the entire path in front of you and everything that you have to do, that's a waste of time, because the best learning comes from first being able to take a step, being able to try it, being able to learn from your mistakes, and then ultimately getting to a place where you feel like you could teach it to others. Does that make sense?
Sure.
No, that doesn't make sense. Learn enough to take the first step and then start doing it.
I don't think, at least for me, I don't think you can structure it that well. I think the best learning comes when you are desperate to get knowledge about a topic. And then when you are, you have to go
Obsession.
all in and figure out that thing. I would split up learning between, so what we talked about before about being around greatness, I think you need that daily. I think you should have a time in your calendar daily. I think Mark should walk every day and listen to whoever, top 10. I think you need that daily. I think without the daily repetition, you don't see the changes because you need to have it in your environment. But you don't even need to be so concerned about what the person is saying. You're not listening to learn a specific thing necessarily. If it comes, it's great. It's the energy, it's the mindsets, the belief systems, the language that seeps into you on a daily basis. So you need that daily.
But the second question is about how it's hard to take action when I feel like I don't know enough.
Right, okay, so then there's structured learning around, I want to learn how to do ClickFunnels, right? So then if that's an obsession, you go in and you learn everything there is to know about X, Y, Z, about ClickFunnels, about YouTube, about Instagram, whatever the thing is, you have to have the passion to learn it, an obsession, and maybe that's one day you figure it out, maybe that's an entire week of just going crazy to dive deep, depends on how much you need to know, but you need to also then experiment, right? Like part of it, you're learning and you're trying. You're learning and you're doing it. You want to learn Instagram, you're researching and then you're doing it, right? You're watching a video and at the same time you have your phone out trying to do the same thing. So I would separate those two. I think the learning has to be inspired. I think you have to want to get better at something. We've got the workshop coming up, right? That's going to be 3 days. Well, Edwin came to it in September. That's 3 days of intense learning plus taking action. And then when you go home, you may not be as deep into the learning. Now you're executing the thing until you want to take it further. It's like, you know what? I want to bump my Instagram game up even more. I want to research the algorithm. I want to X, Y, Z,
But
right?
I also think that you need to be able to separate the idea between like on-demand knowledge that you need and like base knowledge. If you feel like you don't know enough to take action because you just don't have that foundational knowledge that you need, then acting, doing, trying, experimenting is great. But I think a lot of people hold themselves up because they feel like they have to know everything on demand. And the truth is you don't. You just have to know where to look for it. So if I had to launch a ClickFunnels thing, to be honest with you, I understand enough about split testing, about if-and type structures to set up that. I've never used ClickFunnels. I could learn ClickFunnels. I don't need to know it. I can learn it on demand and then start and work with it because I understand the foundational stuff.
He gave us fire. He likes it. Go learn, Edwin. Let's see it. Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
So Bitoshik says, not much money, not much skill, not much education.
Okay.
What should I do?
Awesome.
It's the best.
What should you do, Mark?
Why do you keep giving these to me and then judging my terrible answers?
Why is it terrible?
What should you do? Only you can answer that question. Because even though you think that you don't have the skill, even though you don't think you have the money, that you don't have the education, those are just stories that you're telling yourself. Because if you love something, if you're passionate about something, if you want to help people achieve something or do something or build something, that obsession, that passion, that desire will push through the fact that right now you don't have money. That's a very small thing that you will learn to overcome. That you don't have the education. You don't need education if you want to do something amazing. If you want to be a doctor, you need education. So then what's the first step? Is it getting a tutor? Is it taking a night course? Is it whatever it is to become a doctor? But if you want to do something that's entrepreneurial or business related or service related or making a product or making a video or making whatever it is, then you have to just follow that passion and give yourself the room to get better at it and not worry about the lack of education, the lack of money, or the lack of skill, because all of those things will come.
You start by looking for a yes instead of focusing on the no's. All you're doing is talking about all the reasons why you're not going to win. And listen,
did you not like my answer?
We can come up with more. We can come up with way more. Go talk to your friends. We can all pile on and say how much you suck. There's a million reasons why you're not going to win and 8 why you will. You need to rethink your thinking to focus on the 8 because I like Mark's tactics, but before you get there, you got to believe that it's possible. You have to start focusing on yeses, focusing on potential solutions, paths, and believe that it's possible. That's step 1. What?
Yeah, I'm saying, do what he said.
Yeah. Then 2, recognize that everybody who you look up to, all of your heroes, started with less than what you already have right now. Your hero, go look them up, go look at how they started, less than what you already have right now. They acted, they looked for the yes instead of the no's, And you can learn any skill if you have passion for it. I sucked at making videos. I made 350 until I wasn't embarrassed by myself. Mark was there for the first one. It was bad. When's the B-roll coming? Or when's that video coming in? Oh, it's with my team.
It's with your team.
Mark found the footage. He filmed my first video, and he found the footage of all the bloopers and mistakes and nervousness, and so we're gonna smush that into video. I haven't even seen it.
Evan's mom was there, and she coached Evan so much off camera.
Was it good? Did she do well?
There's just a lot of her being like, you need to sit up straight. You need to look a little bit more professional. You
Oh,
need to
really?
do this. Yeah, like turning you into like a nice little mini politician. It was great.
My mom was a politician, so yeah. Yeah, that's what you do.
This is from Magna Hustle. How about self-awareness?
Wait. Manga.
Manga
Not
Hustle.
Magna Hustle. Is
Manga,
it? I can't read it, but I think I know him.
Manga
Yeah.
Hustle.
Yeah.
How about self-awareness? Are there people that shouldn't be entrepreneurs? What do you think, Evan? You're going to say that.
Absolutely. Not everybody needs to be an entrepreneur. But I think everybody should try. I think it's the same question since he's in just like manga. Everybody should check out manga. Everybody should try sushi. You should try it once just to see if it's for you. Not everybody's going to love sushi. Some people will have an allergic reaction to it, and it's not for them, right? And some people it's going to be the greatest food of all time. You don't know till you try. I think people just settle too early. They settle for a path because it was safe, because it was part of what they grew up with, because their parents wanted them to do it, because part of their culture, you settle for that thing, and then you never go off and try enough stuff. I think most people try like 5 things max, and then they're an accountant for life, and they hate their life. I think that's most people. You settle down a career path. But now we have so many opportunities, right? You can explore so many different things. And so there's no reason why everybody should not try to be an entrepreneur, just to taste it, just to see what it's like, because it may be the greatest thing for you and you don't know until you do it.
I think that people are built to serve. And what are you laughing about? People are built to serve. You have a certain skill set or certain gift that was given to you. It's ingrained within you. It's part of who you are. And it depends on what you or that person wants in life. If they're satisfied and happy, like if you're built to serve and you're built to help people, and again, I'll use like a doctor or a medical person, and that is the path for caring and for help, or a PSW, or a child care worker, or someone who works with special needs. Like if that is the path, because that is how your gifts and how you're built to serve, then the question of whether they should be an entrepreneur or not is irrelevant. It's if you're built to serve and you have the desire or the path to become an entrepreneur, whether you should take it or not. I don't think everyone should become an entrepreneur. I think
But everybody should try? You think everybody should try?
No.
No, I think that's wrong.
I think I think we're too caught up on the term of entrepreneurship. I didn't say
so
for the
pumped.
first 7 years.
That's amazing.
I
think
still
it's
don't
great.
even know if I would call myself an entrepreneur, because all I really care about is helping people. And I have this skill, and I have this company, and I have this path. I have my toolkit.
Okay, but he's not asking about the word. The idea of having your own business. Should everybody try to have their own
What
business?
about self-awareness? Are there people that shouldn't be entrepreneurs? I think that's not the right question. I think you should be asking yourself, do you want to help people? How can you help people? And whatever path it leads to you helping people in a way that fulfills
But
you,
you don't think
is what
you
matters.
don't think everybody should try to have their own business?
No.
Why?
Why? Because I don't think that's the most direct path to them being fulfilled and being happy in all times. I think it's a vehicle.
But how do you know if you like it? How do you know if that's how do you know if it's your vehicle unless you drive the car?
Because if ultimately, I don't know. I don't know. But there's a lot of things that I haven't tried that I'm perfectly comfortable not trying. Right? How do I know that I don't love? We talked about parachuting because I'm terrified of heights. You're terrified of heights. I don't think I will ever jump out of an airplane. I don't want to. I don't want anything to do with it. But guess what? It might be the greatest thing in the world, and I might love it. I might love it. But I'm perfectly satisfied challenging myself in other areas and not doing that. So if you have an inkling, like I was raised by a grandfather who came to Canada and started a business in 1950 and was self-made. I was raised by a mom who did that. And so I had this drive and desire where I was like, at 19, I was like, I want to start a business. I don't care what it is. I just want to start something. And so if you have that inkling and that drive and the desire, and that's the path to helping people, then follow it. But But if you want to saddle up or support the person who's doing that, and you're the number 2 or number 3, but you see the vision, you see the passion. If you're going into an NGO, like a non-for-profit charitable organization, and you're on a mission to make the world a better place, and that's not through entrepreneurship, but you're using your gifts and helping people, what is the problem with that?
Because you don't know.
You don't. There's lots of stuff you don't know.
But how do you get it? By tasting, trying, testing.
Sure.
You got to test more. How do you gain self-awareness through experience?
So here's like a really common challenge right now that nonprofits face, right? There are all these big groups doing all these great things, and everyone starts a new nonprofit and either succeed or fails. But they start all these baby nonprofits, but when they could really just take their skill set, their gifts, and attach to the person who's already out in front and really help drive it forward. Okay. And so if we think about entrepreneurship in the same way, if you want to be an entrepreneur, become an entrepreneur. Yes, I'm 100% for people becoming entrepreneurs. I just don't think that everyone has to try it to see if they like it or not, when they could be living their passion, when they could be following their dreams by supporting the greater cause in a different vehicle.
I hear you on that, and I agree.
Great, so we agree.
But just on that, you don't know until you try it.
Sure, but there's lots of stuff I don't know.
But go learn more. I think that's the biggest problem. You want to solve self-awareness? Expose yourself to more. Listen to Kanye West music. Give it one shot. Like, you don't have to go and start a business and take the next year of your life to do it. Just do one thing. Make a video. See if you like it. I think people don't experiment enough.
I would agree with that as well. So we almost completely agree. There's some rude questions.
There's some rude questions.
Yeah. Okay, so ready? This is from username.
Oh, you got 20 seconds left, Mark. We're getting cut off.
Well, how do I get a lot of embarrassing moments in every moment of life.
That's
how
the
do you
best.
overcome embarrassing moments?
You do it. You go through it. You tell yourself that you're amazing for trying. You're amazing for going through those embarrassing moments. And the more you do it, the less embarrassed you'll be.
Awesome.
It's the best.
Thank you so much for joining us today for Something to Prove podcast. And next week, we're going to talk about scarcity mentality. I've already picked the topic.
If you want to see the last episode of my podcast with Mark, it's fire. The link is right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.